I am delighted to welcome as our guest speaker Fady Mishriki, an alumnus of the University of Auckland and the Chief Executive of PowerbyProxi, which he co-founded. Fady has a bachelor's degree in engineering and commerce. By the time he'd completed his project on wireless electricity for his engineering degree, Fady knew he was onto something. Wireless electricity using electromagnetic induction was not new, but he saw a way to make it feasible for an array of electronic devices to deliver unplugged power. The result was PowerbyProxi, which he founded in 2007. Fady was involved with both Spark, the university entrepreneurship competition, and later the Ice House. During his company's gestation, he secured the company's first major break with John Deere, the world's largest maker of farm and forestry equipment based in the USA. He has since led PowerbyProxi to acquire a further 30 customers, with 6 of these being Fortune 100 companies. While the company has global reach, with all of its customers located outside New Zealand, Fady firmly believes that Auckland is the home of wireless power. He is passionate about New Zealand entrepreneurship and continues to take an active interest in nurturing New Zealand talent. Please welcome with me to the stage, Fady Mishriki.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Council, members of the University, graduands, families, and friends. It is truly my honor to address you today as a very proud alumnus of this fine university. I'd like to start by congratulating all of you graduands. You will leave today with an outstanding education from an outstanding university, one that I can personally attest to, both in my career and in the many fine graduates we hire into our company from this university. I remember sitting where you are today, 8 years ago, trying to work out what I should do next. Today, I thought I would firstly share what happened after I walked out of those doors, and secondly, leave you with a big challenge. After graduating, I decided to found my company. I had 2 unsuccessful starts, but in 2007, almost 3 years after I graduated, PowerbyProxi was born. It was a time when many friends and peers had decided to go on OEs or take jobs overseas, and it would have been very easy to just give up and do the same. But I genuinely felt I could build something of global significance from New Zealand, and I decided to stay behind and do exactly that. One of my favorite quotes by George Bernard Shaw reads, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable man persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man." So, recently I was transiting in London when an article on rugby in the Evening Standard caught my attention. Specifically a paragraph that said, "In nearly all else apart from rugby, New Zealand as a nation is a model of humility and reasonableness. The opposite is true when it comes to rugby. They expect to win, demand to win, and when they don't, it is as if not just the players wearing the fabled black shirt, but the whole nation has failed." I started to imagine what New Zealand would be like if every single one of you graduating today applied that attitude to win, to endeavors that create prosperity, that ultimately enable us to build the best schools, the best universities, hospitals, roads, stadiums, and so on and so forth, and be the envy of the world. What would our country look like then? So sitting where you are today, I decided to start my career living on $10K a year, selling everything I owned on Trade Me to bootstrap a business with absolutely no guaranteed chance of success. Why on earth would you want to do that? Some would call it madness. My mum's a doctor and she certainly did. I prefer the term unreasonableness, but they could be the same thing. As a kid, I also managed to electrocute myself 3 times experimenting with mains power. So it's not surprising that I now want to unwire the world. We were born, taught, and nurtured in the Spark Business Planning Competition, which was a really fantastic initiative of this faculty. I was also supported by many other parts of the rapidly developing entrepreneurial ecosystem. Too many parts to mention here today. Movac, who was famous for their early investment in Trade Me, provided the capital to fund our global expansion plans and set up our first office in the USA. More recently, we closed a $5 million strategic investment from TE Connectivity, a New York Stock Exchange listed company with a market capitalization of over $20 billion. We now employ over 50 people and have offices in Auckland, in Silicon Valley, and also in Atlanta. In the process, we have also funded many internships and many scholarships at this university. We've done that since day one, since 14th of August 2007, even as the company was not profitable. Our customers today view us as the global leader in our space, and they include some of the largest companies in the world, including many significant names from Japan, Korea, Europe, as well as the USA. Many are in the Fortune 100 and Fortune 500. It can be done from New Zealand. When I look out across this hall, I see the future of this country and the businesses that will make it prosper. So, my challenge to you graduating today is to think about how you can take advantage of the world-class entrepreneurial ecosystem we have in New Zealand. Think about how you can create great businesses here and bring prosperity to New Zealand yourself and others who may choose to join you. To those retiring in the next decade or two, maybe some of you teachers, some of the parents in the room, those who have supported these young graduates, I also have a challenge for you. Think about how you can support and invest in a young graduate. I certainly would not be here today speaking to you had I not had people invest and support me. I'd especially recommend you do this if you want to enjoy a fully funded retirement. You'll know we've succeeded and the nation's future is secure when the next generations dream of building big global businesses from New Zealand. Businesses in which they expect and demand to win on the global stage. Graduates, you have a world-class education, a brilliant foundation to build on, and to become this nation's next unreasonable men and women in anything you choose to do. Let us all hope that New Zealand's next Fonterra scale business is created by one of you sitting in this room. Congratulations to you all once again, and thank you.